I will never forget the day the prince laughed while my father cried. I live in a small village at the edge of the forest. We farmed millet and yams, nothing fancy, just enough to feed us. My father was a simple man, hard-working, honest. He never hurt anyone. That afternoon, the sun was hot and the wind barely moved. I was helping him fix the fence around our small field. We could hear the faint noise of the town drums in the distance. Then we heard shouting. "Not again," my father muttered. He knew. Whenever the shouting came from the palace, trouble followed. The prince arrives. We crept closer to the road leading to the palace. I remember seeing him for the first time in my life. The prince. He looked young, no more than 17, but he had a way of making people tremble. A spear in one hand, a whip in the other. His soldiers grinned behind him. He was laughing, that kind of laughter that makes your stomach twist. My father had gone to pay the taxes with a small bag of yams and some coins. He approached carefully. The prince's smile widened. "All? Is that enough? Do you think I will starve on this?" He waved the whip. One of the soldiers stepped forward. Before I could even blink, the soldier grabbed my father by the collar and pushed him to the ground. The bag of yams spilled. The prince raised his whip. He hit my father across the back, hard. My father stumbled and fell on the dirt. I froze. My little brother was hiding behind my mother. The prince bent down, close to my father's ear. I couldn't hear what he said, but I could see my father's eyes widen in fear. Then the prince laughed again. The child who spoke truth. I remember this part like a knife in my chest. His youngest son, Nitakuma, was there with my father, 6 years old, quiet, observing. The boy said something, just a whisper. "Father, why not tie the pot to your back instead?" The prince froze. Even the soldiers stopped laughing, and I knew right then that the prince was human, but he could be worse than animals. My father stumbled out of the palace yard, empty-handed, head low. My mother ran to him, crying. I ran after them. I was shaking, but I couldn't stop. After that day, no one dared speak against the prince. Farmers whispered quietly. Mothers warned their children to stay inside. Even the elders who used to talk boldly went silent. I remember walking past the palace weeks later. I saw the prince through the gate. He was laughing again. It was not a happy laugh. It was a cruel, sharp laugh, and I felt it inside me. The fear would never leave. He did not only hurt people physically, he played games with their hearts. If a villager came to pay taxes, he would humiliate them. If a child misbehaved, he would call them forward and make them kneel while he laughed. He watched how they trembled and smiled. One day, he made the blacksmith carry a heavy iron block across the village square. The blacksmith's hands bled. The prince's friends clapped and cheered. I was only 10 then, but I felt rage and helplessness. Some nights we could hear his laughter echoing across the forest. It followed people into their homes. Some villagers stopped sleeping, some left, some prayed quietly. One evening, I saw my father speaking softly with the elders. They planned to send a secret message to a neighboring chief. "Maybe he can teach the prince respect," my father whispered. I knew it would never work. The prince had no respect in him. It was late afternoon again, the same hot, dusty light. I was fetching water when I heard screaming. A man from the village had accidentally dropped a coin while paying the prince. The prince's whip came down. The man fell to the ground. The prince laughed. I couldn't move. I could only watch. This was not a story or a warning. It was real. It was happening. I realized then that fear kept the village alive, not the prince's strength, not the law, just fear. Years later, I heard the prince became king. I do not know if he changed, but I remember that laughter and the whip and my father trembling. It stayed with me. It stayed with the village. And I write this because I want people to know not all princes are heroes. Not all kings are just. Some are wicked, even when they look young and harmless. I saw one, and I will never forget.